Hello, welcome to the Exosphere video series number one. First off, I'm going to start by talking about my background in art. Um, I used to say that it was a way of not being so bored. And in the 80s, I was uh, looked after by a babysitter, and the babysitter uh, had a big, huge ream of printer paper with some personal information on it, I would guess. And the I started to notice that the other kids around me uh, had just started doing stick figures, and I said, "Well, no, the arm of the person that you're drawing isn't just a stick. It has this other dimension." So I would pretty much draw fat stick figures with not one line but three. Yeah, I think that's right. I think I remember right. It uh, the other memory that I have of like just just sitting there and being really bored, and the other kids in the daycare or whatever it was that I was in, like a babysitter daycare, they would be playing like the Nintendo and Mario Brothers and that sort of thing, and I was just like, I didn't understand the concept of playing this panning thing on the TV. It just didn't register. So I would color eyes, and it would just be um, yeah. I would just draw fat stick figures, and when I would be fed, I inadvertently colored on my food at one point. It was the 80s. They had Crayola markers, and I used crayons somewhat. But I do remember eating the colored food, which was interesting. But the um, I could still see the the paper. It was like this before you had like individual. Nowadays you have this individual paper that you didn't have to like tear apart, and it had like this the ream um, where it would be fed through, and it would have it was white and green. I remember white and green and striped, and I would just draw all over it. But I do remember having numbers. The Yeah, it had that was my first my my first real um, memory of the drawing. Yeah, it still I wish I could get an exact date from the 80s, but I believe it was 85, 86, maybe even 84. Those three. Huh. Okay, the uh, the first uh, I need you to select a piece of paper. It can either be 9 inches by 12 inches or 8.5 inches by 11 inches. And you can choose vertical or horizontal. Mayhap you're horizontal, or maybe you're vertical. Anybody? Well, there you go. Already an artist. Wow. Hey, look at that one over there. Someone has chosen both. A plus. A plus. Let's see. Some more of my background. The off the top of my head, and this is on my website. It's the Exosphere website. I did meet Bob or Robert Arneson about 2 years before he died. I have a photograph. Um, but I'm not gonna go get it and wave it in front of the camera. But yeah, it's uh, my parental unit has more photographs of me being in his studio and around his studio area, down in Benicia. Benicia? Benicia? Well, whatever. And I was also in the between years before I left elementary school and before I entered junior high. I had some private lessons by a artist named Timothy Leung, who taught me how to expand my my painting. He taught me to use wax at one point and dirt, dirt, and he's into the fashion world in New York right now. And I do have a pair of shorts that I made with him. I'm not going to go and parade around in shorts in front of the camera, or I'm gonna like put them in front of the camera so you could see like, hey, these are the shorts. But it yeah, it's interesting how as I reflect now that my world was so small then. It was just like that was the 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 thing that I remember. I remember going back and forth from uh, Mr. Leung's. Actually, yeah, he was still living with his parental units, and I remember when my uh, lesson ended. I I don't know why, but it ended kind of bad. So yeah, I just want to tell you that the video series um,
Yeah, we're gonna have the this is gonna be about uh, 7 or 8 video series, and uh, the 8th or the no the 9th or the 10th month, I'll put all of these into a movie format, and I'm not I'm working off of a very very simple script. Usually don't use scripts um, when I'm doing film, and I have done film in the past, but we'll get to that later. So the you got your paper ready, and we got the horizontal and we got the vertical people, and we got some that are both, right? Right. Yeah, I see you. I see. We need to now select 3 writing tools, and I don't want you to worry. There's not going to be a 500-page essay to write after any of these videos. I chose a Papermate FlexiGrip Ultra Fine, a Uniball Super Ink, and a Sharpie Fine Point to write my um, uh, instructions and the rest of the script. I prefer it be black ink, but blue ink can work too. Uh, yes, to write out these first instructions, I use the Papermate. Okay, my the last part of my background after I started in after I stopped working with Mr. Leung, I was I went to junior high, and it was a pretty dark period. I was just talking about this with somebody yesterday. Uh, and they I ended up just staying in the art class um, taught by uh, Mr. Klinger, Arthur Klinger, and I I was at I was in this art class for so many of the hours of the day that he just made me the TA at one point uh, in my second year. But my health, I was very nervous, as most kids are at that point of their growth, and it was just the beginning of a very dark period in my life. But I still remember doing some really great artwork, which sadly I don't think I have anymore. Uh, I've moved a few times, and I'm in the new ish studio, and it's it's just you gotta go through. Um, you have each and every one of the artists have demons, and you have to first you're you wrestle with your demons, and it takes me or it took me a long time to wrestle with my demons, and my art started to suffer. But when you have a creative uh, outlook and a creative output, and other creative people in your exosphere, then you can start to embrace your demons and dissolve the dark period that you're in. So, this is the first of many of the Exosphere videos. And I'll start to get into more of the lesson, more of the philosophy, and more of my background in this wonderful world of art. So, thank you very much, and I hope to see you again in February.